obviously, and but that's the nature of it right now in the National Football League, and we'll go to work. I think you win or you learn, you lose or you learn too. So you've got to find a way to learn through everything. I think it's a journey through the season, and you've got to find a way to deal with the adversity, deal with the good things, make the adjustments schematically you need to make, keep improving technique-wise. All those things go into it. Take a long view, but focus on the next week, and that's what we'll be doing. Okay, what questions you have?
Have you learned anything more definitive with Marlon?
Marlon's going to be out for the year. Yeah, he's out for the season. He has a torn pec.
What does that hurt?
I don't have the gauge on that.
Rest of the season, where
I
you're
prefer to have him for sure. But we'll go on with the guys we got, and we have really good players that can step in and play, and we'll be ready to go.
Have you decided who will get the first opportunity to step in for him, or will it be more of a committee?
We'll work through the personnel. There's personnel groups, who you put where, what coverages, what personnel groups. We've got guys, and we'll work through that during the course of the week. Some of it's who you play, what the matchups are. We'll figure all that out. Everybody's tweeting. That must be big news.
John, I'm curious, with 2 minutes to go, the offsides penalty on you all, is that a planned play to help manage the
I
clock?
don't need to get into all the strategy of it all, but sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't,
I guess it's just kind of in your nature as a coach not to worry about this thing, but last year you had the awful COVID outbreak, this year awful injuries. How do you just avoid not taking on any kind of woe is me mindset?
I don't know. It's a good question, but, you don't, and maybe it's just, maybe it's experience. I've been through this enough. I mean, everybody in their life, you sit here and you're a football coach, these are football problems. So there's people out there face a lot tougher challenges. And I'll say a lot of times, football's a metaphor for life. It's kind of not, it's our life, but it's not life. It's a metaphor for life. And, sometimes I think we can take things from it like, these games, they run down to the wire. As Al Pacino said it, I kind of talked about it, but an inch here, an inch there, a second too early, a second too late. It is exactly right. I mean, that is like a classic truth about football and as a metaphor for life. So, if you can take some of these things, then, look at them for what they are and say, oh, that's interesting in terms of, do I perceive it in a bigger way? Like the ball, the miracle in Detroit. What does that say? It's incredible. Oh, well, we didn't have the miracle against Pittsburgh. What does that mean? What does it mean? It means it didn't happen. So what's next? I mean, there's an old story. It's like, who's going to go? Send me. I'll go. Don't we all have to make that choice in life? Are you going to go or you're not going to go? It kind of woe is me to your question. I'm going to go. And I know you guys all in your lives feel the same way. You're going to go. So we're going to go, man. We're going to go. We can't wait. We'll be going to Cleveland. Promise you.
And John, as far as the cornerback situation, are you hopeful that Westry and Seymour, maybe they'll be able to provide some depth, or they'll be able to come back this week to you?
Yeah, we feel confident about both those guys.
Much, I know you want to get everybody involved on offense, but Bateman didn't have a catch. I think he was targeted once. Going forward, how much would you like to see him more involved in the offense?
I'd like to see everybody more involved. I mean, I think it's part of it. We like it when a number of guys are targeted. It doesn't always work out that way. You can't create that. I think when you start chasing that, that's when problems happen. I see every coach and every quarterback in the league get asked that question: how do you get this guy or that guy more involved? And as soon as you start chasing numbers of catches for guys, what are you chasing? What are you doing? That's not how the game works. But we do want everybody involved, and we want it to be because we're operating effectively and efficiently with our offense, and the ball's getting spread around based on what the coverage dictates, and that's what you hope for.
Again, I know it's never one thing, but for offense, since Lamar took over, you guys never really had problems not scoring consistently, being held under 20. Is there one thing prevailing that's maybe not causing this offense to click like it has been generally in the past?
There's really not. It's not one prevailing thing, and if there was, it'd be a lot easier to fix unless it would be an unfixable thing. So the answer is no.
Devontae Freeman's kind of giving you guys a spark. Pick up the offensive ball. Is he the kind of guy you can rely on now, give you yards?
Yeah, Todd, I think I mean, he's doing great. You know, he's running, he's making guys miss. He seems like he's getting stronger every week. He was strong in the fourth quarter, which was good to see. So he's done a great job.
Coach, you guys dominated time of possession in the first half. What did you see after watching the film of why you guys weren't able to put more points in?
Well, I mean, it's the same question that Jameson just asked. You know, it's not one thing. You know, so we can go through the list of all the different things, but it's play to play here and there. Sometimes they make a play. Sometimes we don't get the job done. Sometimes we didn't, you know, block it right or just do things exactly the way you would like to do them when you go back and look at it a second time. The first time is tough, you know. So keep trying to get better.
Coach, on the 2-point conversion, when you went back on tape, did it look like they lined up offsides on that? And did you hear from the referee in game or anything afterwards?
No, I didn't hear anything afterwards. Haven't heard anything from the league. You'd like when a guy's lined up that far. I saw the picture that far in the neutral zone. You'd certainly expect that to get called, though.
John, I think the people who chart these things have Lamar throwing 7 or 8 interceptions to Mark Andrews. I know, you know, each play has its own kind of story, but is there any kind of prevailing theme with that kind of, you know, end result?
Well, the end result probably is a prevailing theme. It's something that we've got to get fixed. There's no doubt. We're not happy about that at all. Lamar's not happy about it. Mark's not happy about it. There's different things that happen in those different situations. And, you know, we've got to get that cleaned up.
When having Lamar, he's a former MVP. When he hits a rut like this, how tough is it to try to get him back on track, considering the success he has had in the past?
Well, you just got to get back on track. I mean, it's not going to be his defining thing. It's going to be part of his story. You know, I think it's going to be part for anybody. That's their story, the challenges that you face. I mean, it's never going to be easy. There's sometimes it maybe seemed easy, you know, it seems easy. Sometimes you get on a roll, but it's too competitive. Everybody's too good, you know, for it to be easy all the time. And he doesn't expect that. None of us do. So we've just got to work through it, fight through it, and get the job done.
John, you said that you win and you learn, and you lose and you learn. What were some of the things that you learned following this game?
How much time do we have here to list it? You know, and I can go up and get my yellow pad and go through them all. So a lot.
John, with the 2-point decision, did you know the entire time that if you scored late, you were going to go for 2? Did you have that in your mind through that entire drive?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
John, you mentioned when somebody asked you after the game, somebody asked you about what the Steelers may have done offensively, and you mentioned they cost a cover 0. Is that something?
I didn't say it quite like that.
No, you didn't say cover. Okay. Is that something you have to be more aware of, especially with your personnel on the back end? How many times you go to that, or how aggressive you are with that?
Well, you're always going to be aware of it for sure, but you're going to call the defense in the situation that you think is going to be the best defense to get the job done in that moment. So yeah, you can always go back and second guess it, but you know, we're an aggressive defense, and we're not going to not be an aggressive defense. And you know, so we're not apologizing for anything. It's just that's what happened. You know, we went to it a few times, and they hit us a couple times. So we'll try to clean that up and get better at it when we do it, and that's what we'll do.
Okay.
All right, great, thanks.
Thanks.